Recently, I posted a video on how to roast fresh pumpkin, and I got this comment. Great comment. And it got me thinking, I have an extra pumpkin, so I'm going to show you how to make Three Sisters stew or soup, depending on what you call it. And for those of you that don't know what that is, it's utilizing corn, beans, and squash, or in my case, a pumpkin. The history behind this is how the indigenous and natives of the Americas grew these three ingredients together to support each other. You plant the older sister, which is the corn, then you plant the beans, then you plant the squash. And all three of these play an integral role to support each other as they flourish and grow and thrive in the soil. PBS has a great video. I'm gonna find the link and put it in the description for you. And for those of you that are looking at this and are going, wow, this is a dense bean stew. Congratulations and welcome to my dense bean childhood, because I grew up eating these three ingredients, if not daily, definitely weekly. Calabacita with a side of pinto beans was just a staple growing up. And putting it all together in one soup is just delicious. At the core of this, it's the Three Sisters that will sustain you, and it's budget friendly. So today we're making Three Sister stew. And I'm working with a pumpkin. This is a pie pumpkin. You can add butternut squash, yellow squash, zucchini. This is the squash I'm working with today. Here I have 2 cans of beans. You could also use green beans, but this is what I opted because I had it in my pantry. I have a can of pozole or hominy, white hominy, fresh corn, garlic, onion, jalapeno, tomato. Let's see what else we're gonna put in this. Here I have some Mexican oregano, cumin seeds with black peppercorn, and other seasonings, salt to taste. It's gonna be good. Okay, so we've prepped the pumpkin or your squash. Here I have the onion, 2 Roma tomatoes, 1 jalapeno. All these things are optional, by the way. I have several cloves of garlic that I just chopped, 2 types of beans, cans of beans that I rinsed. I had a can of hominy to use, so it's going in, and my fresh corn. I'm also going to add this into the pot because it adds any extra starch and just flavor from the corn. Okay, preheat your pot. And what I'm going to do is let it preheat for a little bit and add some cooking oil. I'm gonna add at least, whatever's left in this bottle, like a tablespoon or so. I'd say a tablespoon and a half to 2 tablespoons works for this. So we're gonna go in with our jalapeno, well, onion, tomato, jalapeno. Give that a mix. Gonna add salt. Oh, that smells wonderful. This is sauteed for a little while, so I'm gonna add the garlic now. You never wanna burn garlic. It really does turn bitter and ruin a dish or a pot of soup or stew, so you put that after you get everything sauteed and softened in the pot. I'm gonna add the ground cumin and black peppercorn, and this is gonna just bloom the dry spices and seasonings. You want it to wake up, so I'm throwing it in there. Now for your squash or pumpkin. Let's give it a mix. I'm gonna give it another hefty pinch of salt. And you continue the saute. I'm gonna let this saute for about 10 minutes. This is going to help soften and start the process to cook and soften to make the pumpkin tender. So I wanted a chicken broth. I see I have beef. Okay, I have 1 can of chicken broth. So I'm going to add that with water into the mix. So I have some chipotle peppers and adobo sauce. I'm going to add 2 spoons of this, like a tablespoon. Yeah, that should be enough flavor. Let's give that a mix. And I think this is where I want it. You sort of have fond at the bottom of the pot, which is great flavor. Here we go. Start. Oh, it smells good. Another can of water. Yeah, I think that should do the trick. Depends how soupy you want this. But the natural moisture of the pumpkin, it'll come out and render into the soup as it simmers. If I need more, I'll add more. But for now, this is a good place to start. So I'm going to add the hominy, and I'm going to bring all of this to a simmer. Once it comes up to a simmer, I'm going to let it just cook for about 10 to 15 minutes. I have some Mexican oregano. I'm just going to take a pinch, just whatever my fingers can grab onto, and then you just crush it with your fingertips and kind of wake it up just a little bit. Bay leaf. Drop that in, and then just let that simmer. Mix that. And before I forget, this is also going into the pot with the pumpkin and the hominy. There we go. Perfect. Okay, so here I have my beans and the corn. It's going to go in next. So this smells amazing, and it's not even done. Don't worry, I scraped it. Okay, now we add the rest of the sisters, the beans and the corn. And it smells amazing. I wish you could be in my kitchen and smell this. Now, some people like to add chicken or beef. I just like this. I don't know why. When I make my Three Sister stew, it's always just the combination of the squash, corn, and beans. And in place of the beans, green beans are a great choice. And you don't have to add hominy and corn. You could just add hominy or corn. It really just depends what you have. So I'm gonna bring this up to a simmer. I don't want to add any more liquid because I don't want it too brothy. I kind of want it stew and thickened. So let this go for another, I'd say 20 minutes, 15, 20 minutes. We'll check it. So I'm going to add a little more salt. Always salt and season to your preference. That goes in there. There we go. Yeah, this is where it's at. I love this stew. Going back on. There we go. I have an avocado, so I'm going to cut this open and slice it. It's going on top of this stew. Okay. Oh yeah. Everything is tender, seasoned, aromatic. Just wonderful. I want to get some of the broth here because it's so flavorful. So I'm gonna add just a pinch of salt, some crushed red pepper flakes. I'm also going to add this. This stew is so comforting, I'm ready to eat. And like I always say, season, garnish to your preference. The only thing missing is something to dunk into this flavorful stew. If you have a good recipe for bannock or fry bread, drop it in the comment section down below, and I will see you in the next video.